Welcome back, everyone. And today we're going to be trying out the ColourPop Party Proof Eyeshadow Primer. They came out with 3 different shades. I picked up Caramel, which honestly I didn't even know that they made 3 different shades made for different skin tones, but apparently on the website it mentions it's supposed to be translucent, so I'm a little confused. I picked up the shade Caramel, which is described on their website made for medium to dark skin complexions, and apparently it is vegan, cruelty free. It's also basically has like caffeine infused in the formula, so it's supposed to, you know, help us look a little bit more awake. Obviously, the eyeshadow primer is made to extend the wear of our eyeshadow, of our makeup that we've applied on our eyes, increase the vibrancy of the eyeshadow, and just give us a really pretty, flawless finish. So I'm really excited to test this out. As you can tell, I don't have any eyeshadow on. So we're going to go ahead and dive on in, finish getting ready together, and we're just going to try this out and just see what is the texture like. Does it actually blend really nicely with, like, once we apply this on, does our eyeshadow blend really nicely? Does it increase the vibrancy in any way? And is actually worth picking up. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Everything will be linked down below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help out my channel. And let's dive on in and try this on. So I did move the camera a little bit closer to my face so you can get a better view of everything that I'm going to be doing for today's video. And then this is the eyeshadow primer, and you are receiving 0.42 ounces. So I just want to share that with you because I feel like that's a pretty good amount. Essentially, this could really last you a long time. And I do love the packaging. I love it's clean, very modern. You do receive a doe foot applicator, which I love a doe foot applicator because you have the option of applying on this eyeshadow primer on your lids and going from there. As for a scent, let's see if there's a scent to it. And to be honest, there is no scent, which I personally prefer products not to have a scent just because sometimes it could just be too strong and overpowering, and I'd rather it not have a scent and just make sure that it actually does what it's supposed to. So that is the only thing. So I quickly swatched the product on the back of my hand, and it honestly has like a golden kind of undertone to it, like a warm golden undertone to the pigmentation, but I don't find it to be too pigmented. This again is a shade Caramel, made for medium to dark skin complexions. It also mentions on their website it's supposed to be translucent, and I do find it to be pretty translucent. It's not super pigmented that I feel like, you know, it's gonna get in the way of applying on eyeshadow over it, but we'll see. Maybe it's different, especially because I'm pretty tan, or I feel like right now. So I personally like it. As for the consistency of it, it feels really creamy. It has like almost like a silicone base to it, I feel, just because I feel like it just makes the canvas or like the swatch in the back of my hand so smooth that I feel like once I apply it on my lids and then go on eyeshadow, it's just gonna be really effortless, and I feel like everything is gonna blend really nicely. So just by the consistency and the feel for it, I'm pretty excited to try this out. I'm not as nervous, and it does dry down fairly quickly, which I personally love because that means that we can keep it moving and get ready and be on the go, which is always a big plus. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply on this eyeshadow primer, and then I'm gonna go in with a brush to blend everything out. And I'm gonna use my MAC 217 brush to blend out the eyeshadow primer. Let me tell you, it was really easy to blend out. Definitely translucent. I don't feel like it enhances pigmentation on my lids. It does dry down fairly quickly, and it does feel like tacky on the lid. I do want to mention that I do feel like, I'm not sure if it's going to show up on camera, but in person, I feel like it enhanced the texture on my lid and slightly moved the foundation that I had on my lid, which I'm not a huge fan of, but who knows? Maybe once I apply an eyeshadow, everything will be kind of set into place and it won't look like as a funky. So we will see, obviously, once we apply an eyeshadow. So I'm going to go in with my Clinique shadow brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of eyeshadow. I'm going to go into a really old eyeshadow palette that I personally really love, and this is from the BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis palette, but I'm going to pick up this really like off-white eyeshadow, and I'm just going to apply it all around the lid just to set everything into place, because that's honestly what I always do. I like to apply on a base shadow and then I just kind of layer everything on from there, like the transition shades and things like that. So I'm just gonna go in and apply it all around. All right, so I've applied on the eyeshadow all around the lid. Let me tell you, the texture, the weirdness that I thought I was seeing before, it basically went away. It definitely made the eyeshadow look really, really vibrant. Like I feel like it looks really, really white. Like I've applied on way too much this eyeshadow, but we'll tone it down once we apply it on our transition, our crease shade. So I'm gonna go in with my Farrah, and this is the tapered blending brush. This is the 3-5E tapered blending brush, and I'm just gonna go into the KVD Shade and Light Eyeshadow palette. I absolutely love it. It's so, so pretty. And I'm gonna go into this really pretty like pinky undertone eyeshadow that is in this palette, and I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it within the crease of the lid, doing windshield wiper motion. Now I'm going to go back into the same palette using the same brush that we were using earlier, just to make everything easier. And I'm going to go into this really pretty dark brown, and I'm using the Wet n Wild Color Iconic eyeshadow palette, and this is called Call Me Sunshine. I absolutely love this palette, you guys. It's so, so good, and I love how affordable it is, and I love the tones to this palette. But overall, by the way, the crease shade blended really, really nicely. So far, I haven't noticed any issues, and it's just blending out my eyeshadow really nicely so far. So far, so good. So let's dive on into this chocolate brown, and we're just gonna go ahead and give a little bit more depth to the eyeshadow, starting in the corner of the eye, doing circular motions and blending it slightly within the crease of the lid. So I've been sitting here for a good minute now, and I've been trying to blend out the eyeshadow in the corner of the eye, and it's literally not blending out in this general corner area. I'm not sure if it's going to show up on camera. I'm hoping it does, because it is a pretty dark chocolate brown eyeshadow. As much as I'm trying to blend everything out, it's just not blending. It's kind of gripping on to that little general area, and I'm not sure why. The pigmentation is looking vibrant. In certain areas, it's kind of blending, but it's looking pretty patchy in the outer V, and I'm not a fan of that. I didn't notice that in my transition shade, so I'm kind of surprised that it's giving me issues right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and try my best to make do with what we have going on. I've also tried going in with a different type of brush, thinking, you know what, maybe I should just change the brush. Maybe there's something on that brush I don't know about. And it's still giving me the same issue. It's not blending. I'm having issues. I don't know what is going on, and it's looking pretty crazy right now. So I'm a little disappointed. I'm going to go ahead and finish the other eye, so we can move on to smoking out the bottom lash line. Maybe we'll apply a little bit of shimmer on the lid to see if we can salvage the look in some way. So I continue having high hopes for the other side, and let me tell you, the corner of the eye was giving me issues blending it out the eyeshadow again. And what I ended up doing is I tried to blend it in the upper crease of the lid. Again, it was just kind of staying in one place. It wasn't blending as much as I wanted it to. And so what I essentially did is I went in with a blending brush. This one is from Beach Cosmetics. And I went back into the Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette, picked up a little bit of this mustard eyeshadow, and then I basically applied it on the upper corner, upper lid, basically over the eyeshadow that is currently looking patchy, and I feel like kind of blended everything out. It doesn't look as obvious now, so I'm really happy with that so far. I feel like the issue is if you do not apply on this eyeshadow primer evenly throughout your lid, then that's where it's probably gonna look a little patchy. That is just currently like what I think is the issue. And the fact that it's translucent, like how would you know if you applied an even amount? Or how did you know if you missed a spot? You wouldn't really know that because it's translucent, unless it was like super pigmented that it was super obvious. You could tell where exactly you applied this on. So I feel like that's probably the issue. I'm not really sure. So we're gonna just keep it moving and finish on our eye look. I'm gonna go in with my Luxie shader brush, and this is the 217 brush, and I'm gonna go in to this mustard shadow that we've applied on the upper lid, and I'm just going to go and apply on the lower lash line, connecting it to the corner of the eye. I go back into the Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette, pick up a little bit of that dark eyeshadow that we used earlier, that chocolate brown, and then we're going to use the same brush, and then we're just going to apply in the corner of the eye, connecting it to the corner of the eye and getting it really close to the lash line area. Then with our big fluffy shader brush that we were using earlier, our blending brush, we're just gonna go in and blend everything out under the lash line and into the crease so there aren't any harsh lines. And then I'm gonna use the shader brush and apply a little bit of shadow close to the lash line on the upper lid, just because I feel like I need to pack on a little bit of color. hopefully to fill in those little sparse areas where I just didn't want to blend. Guys, this is basically it. I have it finished getting ready. I'll have everything that I use from my eyeliner, mascara, eyelash curler. I'll have it all linked down below. But this is basically it. Honestly, you guys, I really wanted to like this eyeshadow primer. I really love the fact that it's $8, it's vegan cruelty free, it's translucent. The texture to the formula felt really nice. I feel like it felt really comfortable on the skin. It made everything feel really smooth. I was really excited about it, but unfortunately, I feel like there's a trick when it comes to this eyeshadow primer, and I feel like the issue is that if you don't apply an even amount on your lids, it's gonna look really patchy in certain areas. And when the fact that it's translucent and slightly pigmented, it obviously matched, I feel like, my skin complexion really well. I wasn't able to see that. And so when I went in and applied on the eyeshadow, everything looked really, really nice. But for some reason in the corner of the eyelid, I just had so many issues trying to blend it out. And I found myself scrambling, trying to find different types of brushes that I could possibly use to save the look and make it work for me. And I just felt like I spent so much time at trying to fix that it shouldn't take that long. At that point, I shouldn't have used even eyeshadow primer. And lastly, I feel like the eye look that I created for today was just a really simple eye look. I don't feel like it was intricate in any way. It wasn't like a cut crease of any sort that would justify the fact that I had so much issues with it. I can only imagine if I did a cut crease, I would be, I don't know, I don't even want to think about it. But that is the only thing. So unfortunately, I have to give this a big pass. I really hoped for the best, but unfortunately it didn't work out for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions whatsoever, comment down below, ask away. I'm always here to help. And as always, I will see you all in my next video. I love you all so, so much. Bye!